Hey, how you doing? My name is Pastor Kyle Durbin. I serve Frostburg United Methodist Church out here in beautiful Western Maryland, where I'm also the director of Frostburg Theater Company, one of our ministries here at the church. A little bit about that. I received my undergraduate degree in theater from the University of Maryland, so fear the turtle and go Terps. Later this year, I'll be receiving a doctorate of ministry from Wesley Theological Seminary in theology and the arts. So today, I was hoping that I could talk just a little bit about new ways of looking at and doing theater ministry, because I think in doing so, we might be able to look at new ways of doing ministry altogether. In the gospel, Jesus tells us no one pours new wine into old leather wineskins. Otherwise, the wine would burst the wineskins, and the wine would be lost and the wineskins destroyed. But new wine is for new wineskins. See, my fear is that too many groups are continuing to pour theater ministry into old wineskins. And for a ministry that can be so transformative, so life-giving, so formational for communities, I sometimes question whether we're robbing this ministry and many others of their full potential to make disciples for the transformation of the world. That begins with our purpose and asking the question, who are we doing this ministry for? For me and theater ministry, I make it perfectly clear that my focus is on the individual participants working together for 2 to 3 months to create a theatrical production. This means my focus is not on the final performance and whether or not it meets the expectations of the audience, even if that audience could be somewhere between 250 to 500 people. I mean, think about it. As talented as we all are, the average church may not have a full cast of Broadway-trained actors and technical artists. So no matter how hard I try, we're just not going to pull off a rendition of Hamilton as good as Lin-Manuel Miranda can in New York. However, for 2 to 3 months, I will be working closely with a cast and crew of anywhere from 5 to 50 committed individuals, including actors and singers and dancers and lighting technicians and soundboard operators, front of house crews, stage managers, prop assistants, costume artists, set designers, and more. That's the true venue where ministry is taking place. Here's just a couple of ways I accomplish this goal right here at Frostburg Theater Company. First, I emphasize diversity and inclusivity. Now, I understand those are words that we've all heard before, but they take on new meaning in the world of theater. For example, I always utilize gender-blind, colorblind, and age-blind casting. I'm happy to have an 8-year-old girl play an 80-year-old elderly gentleman in a show if it brings her joy and she gets to grow as an actor because of it. Just last year, I directed a play set in a monastery run by nuns, so when 5 men showed up for the auditions, they each found themselves wearing habits just 2 months later. Why? Because I'm not worried about the final performance nearly as much as I am about the production process and the time we spend together in that process. I mean, think about it. Jesus hung out with fishermen and tax collectors and prostitutes, and he never once asked if they were theologically trained and qualified to be his disciples. Likewise, my focus is on finding a meaningful place for everyone who wants to contribute, regardless of their experience or even their talent. A second area of focus almost has nothing to do with the theatrical process at all, and yet at the same time, it has everything to do with theater as a ministry, and that's the practice of shared meals. I mean, how many times in the Bible do we see Jesus eating and drinking with his friends and family? And half the time, he's just inviting himself over to other people's homes for dinner. So during Tech Week of every single production, I make it mandatory for the cast to begin every rehearsal. There's usually 5 rehearsals that week with a meal together. After months of working together on a finished product, it's amazing to see the Holy Spirit at work during this table fellowship as a new family is realized and developed. Then, for every performance, we do it dinner theater style, with a meal either before or during the production. The truth is, I could go on and on about ways I think we could explore new ways of doing not only theater ministry, but ministry in general. But now that part's up to you, and I know you've got a jam-packed day ahead or maybe behind you here at Taste and See, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. If you want to learn more about theater ministry, or If you're ready to begin a theater ministry and you're looking for some resources or maybe even some rights and royalty-free Thanksgiving and Christmas comedies that I've written, available exclusively to those in attendance at this conference, feel free to send me an email at pastor@frostburgumc.org. God bless. Now go be a blessing.